The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan.
This one's wife. Australia shuts the door. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. This one's wife managed less than 2 years as a working member of the royal family. As a combination of her own behaviours, many people started to see through her. As a consequence of her behaviours, there was resistance to her, which of course, since she is a narcissist, amounted to a threat to control, and ultimately she wasn't able to nullify those threats to control directly, so she ran away. She gave up on the United Kingdom and decided, doesn't matter, I'm the important one, I'm the amazing this one's wife, I've got a title, they'll be falling over me in the United States to talk to me, I'm a duchess now, they'll love that kind of thing. I'm beautiful, I'm talented, I've got stories to tell. I am going to be a huge celebrity in the United States with my tales of woe about how I've been mistreated by those colonial racists, and I'm going to be wealthy, loved and adored. And thus off she went to the United States via Canada in pursuit of what she believed she was entitled to. And then, unsurprisingly to those of us who understand what type of narcissist she is and why she behaves the way that she does, she fucked it up. Despite getting off to a flying start with the Netflix and Spotify contracts, with people welcoming her, them inviting her to various events and parties, cozying up to her, giving her a platform, it didn't take long as a consequence of her mid-range narcissism for her to start to annoy people. Not just the general public, who either couldn't be arsed with her or thought basically stop moaning and stop smearing the people that were good to you, but also those who'd actually got themselves into a position of power and influence as a consequence of hard work and talent, looked on her and thought, who is this Janie come lately? Her clothes don't fit her. There's a strange odour around her. And she talks nonsense. She thinks she's one of us. Really? Well, we're not going to be able to accept that. And after the deals that were offered started to sour, and Bill Simmons declared that she and Harry are fucking grifters. And as other people realised that there isn't much substance there, that there's no charisma, there's little in the way of intelligence, and that people didn't like the fact that all she could offer were complaints about the way that she'd purportedly been treated, her popularity tanked within the United States also. Thereafter, she's been looking around for places that she can go to in order to make herself look like she's the important person she believes herself to be, where she can receive fuel by virtue of often bemused individuals who aren't really sure who she is, but politely applaud her and listen to another word salad speech. Thus she gains the fuel. There may well be the residual benefit of payment. And of course, she capitalises on all of this by ensuring that the world's press knows all about it. Again, it will backfire because there's a legion of fact-checkers that points out the discrepancies in her behaviours and an army of critics who really don't have any time for her other than to point out the latest inappropriate item that she's wearing, the ridiculousness of what she says, the patheticness of the way that she interrupts and gets in the way and tries to take things over. But what she has been doing as of late as a consequence of the fact that she has failed in the United States is look for pastures new. To find countries around the world that will accommodate her by extending an invitation so that she can go for 3 or 4 days, to enable her to swan around and have her picture taken with children, to hug people that she doesn't know, to talk about things she doesn't truly understand, in an attempt to make herself look good. As she seeks to assert control over these individuals and draw fuel from them, she's had to pick what would ordinarily be places she would never otherwise countenance going to. Take, for instance, the fact that Harry has something of a love affair with Africa. He's more in his element there. rolling up his shirt sleeves, getting stuck into some honest work. He enjoys himself. It caters to an aspect of his character. This one's wife isn't interested. Why would I want to be seen in dirty and dusty places? I should be on red carpets. Where's the glamour? That's what belongs to me. But as a consequence of the fact that she ran away from the United Kingdom having failed at being a royal, and that she has failed both in terms of attempting to penetrate the A-list and become some kind of lifestyle brand guru, she's now having to shill herself round in what her narcissism would essentially describe as lesser nations. You can always rely on our straight-talking Antipodean cousins down under to point out when someone's a wrong 'un. They'll identify a flaming galah at 100 paces for the purposes of recognising that someone's being a bit of a fool, a dimwit, or quite simply an arsehole. And if it were not already the case that Australia would say not a fucking chance to the Sussexes coming to spend time there, I think we can now say that the door is firmly closed, as the good old Aussies have closed the door and through the hatch yelled, "Don't fucking bother." Why? Well, there has just recently been released a YouGov Australian poll, which tells us plenty about who is liked and who isn't. So, for instance, Prince William, he has a net 49 approval positive rating, with 69% being positive, 20 negative. Catherine, Princess of Wales, comes in second in this poll at 46. Princess Anne, third at 43. Prince Edward, next at 25. And King Charles, plus 10. They score higher than various political individuals. Prince Andrew is slumped down at the bottom on negative 48, with 19 looking at him positively and 67% saying negatively. But what about the Gruesome Twosome? What about the Prince of Pink Pancakes and his handler? Well, Harry finds himself on negative 17. Yes, some 66 points below his brother. What about this one's wife? The Australians put her at negative 32. Not good. Not good at all. Some 78 points lower than Catherine, Princess of Wales. That, of course, will infuriate her should she be aware of this poll. But what we take from this is that the Australians still have an affection for certain members of the royal family, naturally don't have any time for Randy Andy, and they certainly don't have any time for Harry nor his handler. And if this one's wife, through her deluded mind, thought that perhaps Australia might be a place that would welcome her and Harry, this is demonstrating that if it wasn't already closed, the door is firmly shut, and the Australians don't want anything to do with her or has no balls. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.